In this video, we'll be talking about LockPlus. Let's get started with a little overview of what LockPlus is. The website, lockplus.us, allows you to create themes that you could save to a cloud or the server that allows you to share the theme, and anybody that has LockPlus the Sigit can download and run on their phone. They don't have to download it from Cydia. They don't have to SSH it in. They just open LockPlus the Sigit, download theme, put your theme name in, and they can immediately load it on their lock screen. For this first part, we're just going to talk about this main menu. I know it says main menu here. This is our main tool panel, which that will be updated. We have tips, snap, grid, and links. From here down, these are just links. If you need help, you can visit that. It'll take you to the documents, kind of give you an overview like I just did, and also link you to our forum, which if you ever have a question, you just pop in there, write your question, and there's always somebody there to answer it for you. Themes are themes that are uploaded to our public list. These are themes that are tested by us and then uploaded for you to download. We test each one just to make sure, if you install a theme, it's not a waste of your time, it doesn't look like crap, and things like it's not malicious, things like that. If you go here, you will see every wall, anybody ever used making a theme with LockPlus. Right now there's over 600, there's over 600 themes, so there's probably about 600 wallpapers. If you go here, share it, you could share this via Twitter. Contact is the email you can contact me at, and Sigit is how to get the LockPlus Sigit that allows you to run these. Right now I want to go over tips, snap, and grid. First, tips. When tips is on, which is on by default, it will show you tips at the top of the phone. Like choose item from right panel. It's letting us know that we opened this panel and we need to choose an item from it. So if we choose clock elements, it'll give us another one. Either scroll or use arrow buttons to navigate the menu. You could scroll with the touchpad, you could scroll with a mouse wheel, you could touch before, touch after, and just click on an element and it adds it to the screen. Click the element to adjust, also delete, or you could just tap it and it'll delete it right back. But what it's saying is click it. See, we get a whole new panel here. It says element style menu. Click off of it and we go back to our main tool panel. Tips, they're good. If you didn't watch this video or you've never used this before, I could see how they would be very helpful. But for me, they do get annoying, so there is an off and on button in this main menu at the top. Snap allows you to snap elements to each other. Say if we go here and we have a clock element and a PM element, as you see, if we move close, it snaps it to that same horizontal line that the time is. It's just easier, it makes it easier to align elements on that same plane. As you see, you just move it anywhere and it'll snap it to it. It's not perfect, as you see. If we try to move this just a little bit off, it'll unsnap itself. And there's really no fine adjustment here. You could, adjust the width and the alignment to get, if you wanted a space in between the two, you could do it that way. But most of the time, I don't have snap on, but it is very useful. Grid gives you a horizontal and vertical line to show you exactly where center is, which is handy. It's handy a lot. If you create a square and you wanted a square in the center, well, you can judge by the two lines if something's center or not. Without that, if I was to say to put that in the center, you would have no idea where center was. You'd have to grab your ruler and measure it out. But with grid, it gives you just a little reference so you can get that more perfect to center. And that's basically it for this main menu. Now let's take a look at our main tool panel. This is what I would call the main tool panel. And here we do the most basic things that you would do, like change the background, change the overlay, show the elements panel so you could add elements, save the theme, load a theme, and clear theme. We'll start with change background. Basically, you just click it, goes to your computer where you can pick a wallpaper. So we want this wallpaper, and it will display that wallpaper on the screen. And that wallpaper is now there if we just decided to save. Change overlay is basically the same concept as the wallpaper itself, but it allows you to upload transparent, semi-transparent images. It's kind of hard to see with that, but if we change to this, you can see we have this overlay now that's on the bottom of the screen. The wallpaper itself will be set with the Sigit. It will be set just like if you set a wallpaper in settings. So it is good to make sure you have a wallpaper, or you are using a wallpaper that will fit your screen size. It's better to be, say if you set everything to an iPhone 6, all wallpapers will scale up to say a 6 Plus, but if you set a wallpaper 6 Plus size, then the iPhone 6, it will display differently. The overlay is a floating overlay. If you swipe the lock screen, that overlay will move with the lock screen unless you have the settings set in Sigit that doesn't allow the lock screen to move. But it basically gives you an option to put any overlay over any wallpaper. It's just easier if you want to place elements, say if you want a weather here and time here or something to that sort. Just options. Show element panel we kind of went over a little bit in the main menu, but it basically you just put elements on the screen and you can place them anywhere. Save theme allows us to save this theme, so if we save it, it'll generate our preview and the preview screen. Put our name, and we'll name this test 4. If you're just trying this out, you want to check it out, you want to upload a theme and download it, put test in the theme name, and these will be deleted every evening, and you don't have to worry about a bunch of test themes being uploaded. So we just submit it. It will generate the sites, the preview, and it will tell us it has been saved. You can share the theme, you can view the theme, or create another. If we click view theme, it will take us to the page. This is the lock screen we just made, and it'll show your name, the name of the theme, and how big it is. The name of the theme is what people will use to download your theme. All they do is open it in Sigit, press download theme, put your name in, it downloads it, they can apply it immediately. These do not get uploaded to the public address, lockinfo/themes. It does not get uploaded to that until it has been tested. And right now we've been adding 25 lock screens per day. They get tested in the evening, and we go through and we download them, check them out, make sure everything looks okay, works all right, and they will be on if we go to LockPlus.info/themes. They will be then uploaded here. So if you ever want a theme, you don't feel like creating one, just go to LockPlus.info/themes. There's a lot here. We have tried to change this. I have terrible internet, but we have changed this where it only loads 25 at a time, and you can go to next, and if you click on one, it will go to that theme, and it'll give you the name. You can download it and install it on your lock screen very, very easily. But we want to go back to create your own. It kept all the information, even though we left the site and come back. It kept where we place the PM or background and our overlay. So we'll clear it now, and it just gets clear, just gets rid of everything on the screen. It starts you back from fresh. There's also a load theme button if you ever are looking for inspiration, or there's a theme that you have that you just want to change something. You click load themes, and it will give you the list of themes, all the things people have made. Right now there's over 600. It's only been live 5 days, and we have over 600 themes. So we put them to 2 pages. It loads 25 per page. You could scroll through here pretty much forever and pick something if you like it, and say if you like Evil Mouse but you don't like the purple, you could come in here and just change the purple to say red, or anything you want. If you don't like them at all, you can just click the element and delete it, save it as a new name, and then you could use that screen. So that's basically the main tool menu. There's a few options here, but they really do a lot. Next we'll get into Elements panel a little bit more. Actually, not the Elements panel, because we pretty much went over it. It's pretty simple. But we will go over the Element Styles menu. This is where you style this element. As you see now, it's just plain, it's white, normal. What we could change, we changed a lot about it, so we'll do that next and probably go over some of these options. Alright, the last thing we'll go over is the Element Style menu, and for this let's just use a random text element. The text element allows you to, well, change the text. You can put whatever text you want in it, but it's good for this because we show alignment and things like that. Starting from the top, the text element of course has the input where you can change the text. Other elements will not have that because, well, you can't change that text. And depending on what element you have selected, depends on what this menu looks like, depends on what options this menu has. If we go to a square doesn't really have the same options as text would. You know, we have a box shadow now, and we have blur rate, box radius, which is the corner of the box. If we turn this to, say, 30, you see we turned into a circle. 10, you see we got a box with round corners. So each element is going, this menu here will change per element. We'll do the text element just because I really want to go over alignment. Font size will be shown on pretty much every text element. You just scroll up and down with your mouse wheel or your touchpad, and it will change the size of that element. Or you could do the up and down arrows if you want to get very precise, or if you know what you want, you just enter it, press enter, and it will change the size. You click off the element, and it brings you back to your main tool panel. It's just a way of deselecting that element. But when it is selected, this menu will always pertain to the element with the border around it. Width lets you change the width. As for text, it doesn't do anything but change the outside bounding box. It's kind of hard to see what it's doing, but you can see the outline is changing. If you're on box and you change your width, well, you can pretty much see that your box width and height is changing. On the text element, this width is still very important. This is defining the space that element can be in. So if that text changes, say if you did it here, the width 150, and change the text some more, and I can't type very well, more. As you see, it comes outside of that bounding box. So if you have anything, say if you have a, well, we don't have that option enabled. What if you had a box shadow on that box? Shadow would only go to its bounding box. And the other more important thing is we can't align this text how we want if we don't have width set. See, right now, by default, every text is aligned to the left. It's not selected, but it is definitely to the left. We can select left and nothing changes. But you can do center and you can do right. As you see, it'll align to the right. So if we do even, see how the text is moving to the left instead of overlapping the screen. Same if we go. So if you have elements, say, what will change? Condition. Condition changes. Right now it's set to cloudy, but if you set cloudy right here and you didn't adjust this left, center, or right, well, if cloudy changed to thunderstorm, then it would say thunder and then the rest of it would be off the screen. To fix that, you would just guess at a width, say thunderstorm would probably be that big, and then you can align it to the right. So if cloudy ever changed, instead of going off the screen, it would actually move back this way. So it would always be aligned to the right. Same goes if it was on the left side. You just do it left. And what's great about alignment as well is if you want something to be perfectly centered. If you want something to be perfectly centered, and say this is set to 20, just take whatever text you have and change the width to the max of this screen. And there's a shortcut to do that. If you hold shift and press the plus, it will automatically give that width 320. So then if you press center, your text is always center. It's always center. If we just put the word text here, well, text is still exactly center. It's great for condition or clock elements that have text. Say if we want a clock and it says 250, well, that will change. It may say 253, so that'll actually, or as it does now, 309. So we could put this in the center, but if it ever changes, then this center position will change. But if we have this width set max and then center, it will always be in the center, no matter what the value is. That's probably the most common issue I see with out of the 600 themes I see uploaded, is not understanding the alignment. And to get something in the center, it shouldn't be difficult. If we pull up our grid, you can see that text. It will automatically always be, if we change this to a number 5, the 5 will always be center, just because the width is 320. That's the important thing. You have to set a width. If you want it in center, always do width 320. Or if you have elements side by side, say if we want to turn this menu off. If we want a temperature, feels like temperature will work. Come right here. If we want a temperature here and then cloudy next to it, or if we want it the other way around, we will change the width, say cloudy to that size, and then change the width of this high. And since it's already aligned left, we really don't need to. But you could align it right, stick it in the corner, and then take your cloudy and kind of judge where it ends. And we want cloudy to be as close as we can to that. So if we do that, then we have, it's always going to be aligned. We could even align this left, and it will, this gap right here will never change. In the future, we will have strings that will say 90 cloudy. It's a common thing, so we will do it as we did strings here, because it is difficult to make something like that. If we were to try to do that manually and get a date, of course. So there's a 30, and then a day, which is Thursday. To get these to line up just as this string is, it's pretty difficult if you do individual elements. So if you do have anything that you think should be in a string, let us know and we will do it. See, we can easily do that with 320. And then center it, and it's always center. Whereas if we had 3 elements here, we could never get it to always be center as one string would be. And once it's center, you could adjust the text and all that, and it will still be center. Let's clear this a little bit and get a day. Next, color. Color, we have this nice color picker. You could pretty much make any color you ever thought, or you can enter a manual color here. See, I know white is FFF, so if we do FFF, it'll automatically go to white. Or if you have a custom color that, I don't know, somebody used in a theme or something to that sort, you could enter it there and it will give you that color. Otherwise, you can use the color picker and it updates automatically if you have a wallpaper. Let's pick a wallpaper real quick. So if we have something like this and we want to match this color to that green, we could pretty much just go in here until it almost disappears. Then we can take it up here. And then we know that color is almost exactly that color. If we choose it, and then we add another element, say previous day, Wednesday, and we want Wednesday to be that exact green that we just did, it will, from here down, our custom color. So it's right there. That's the color we just did. And if we change it again, and we went with a purple, chose it, we go back here, go to our picker, and see that's the green, and there's the purple we just made. So it keeps the colors for you, so you don't have to copy this color and paste it on every element. It will keep it, and it's always going to be in this line. And all these are the custom colors I've used so far. But we're happy with the green, so let's move on. Center, yeah, we do want this in center, so we'll just go ahead and do that. Fonts, click this. Here's your fonts. If you choose Helvetica, that will actually use your Vitafont font as well. It's just pretty much default. And you get previews of what the font will look like on that text itself. See, it says Wednesday before every font, which we selected that. You can scroll using your scroll wheel or your touchpad, or you can use the scroll bar. It gives a nice little animation. And let's see, say we wanted this, which is fine. But if we have something, say next day, a number, it's a good example. We'll change the font of this number. We get it there. As you see, Anders doesn't have it. Most of these, there's only a couple paid fonts in here. And there's only a couple because they're so expensive. This font here was $60. So there's a lot of free fonts, and with free fonts, sometimes you get a preview of the fonts, which means that some of them may not have numbers. You see 31 here, but there's none here, none here. So if we do select one of these, our text will go blank because that font doesn't have a number to display. But if you pick it any of them, that's the reason the preview is there. Just look at it. Most of them do have numbers, but there is some that are really nice fonts, but they just don't include the number itself. Transformations. Transformations allows you, let's change that font to something better. Allows you to rotate. We can rotate the element where we want. Currently there is a bug where when the preview, when you save a theme, the preview is rendered from whatever's shown on the screen. I'm having difficulties with the rotation. So if you do have an element that's rotated and you create a preview and the preview doesn't look right, that's what it is. I am still constantly working on that, trying to figure it out. Skew, kind of like, well, it skews it. This one skews it on the x-axis, and this one will skew it on the y-axis. And you can go back, or you can delete everything you did. You go back, and you go back to your main menu here. Uppercase, this font has a capitalized letter, and then it's all lowercase. If you choose option uppercase, it will change all the text to uppercase. Capitalize will go back to capitalize, and lowercase will do lowercase. Font weight, we can change it bold, number, normal. or you can manually change the font weight itself, which that one doesn't have font weight apparently. Or manually do it. No, doesn't have it. Some fonts will have font weight, some fonts will not. Apparently none of these have font weights. But you can do the bold. See, bold and normal will not affect that one. But one I know will is Beavis. Go up to B's. Even though it's Beavis bold, we should be able to. Nope, can't do it. Bold is set at 400. Even if we go up, no change. Let's try this one again. Yeah, no. There we go. So that font will allow you to change the weight of the font itself. Some fonts will, some fonts won't. But it's cool. If you want one font and you want different weights, you can use that to do it. Next is text shadow. This will give you a shadow for your text. We can go vertical. As you see, we get a white shadow. Vertical is the up and down. Horizontal is the left, or the right and left. If we want to do 2. Blur radius will actually blur that shadow, so it kind of makes it look smoother. And you can also change that shadow color. So if you just want it to glow, you can give it basically the same color as we did before, and it will give it a glow. So many things you could do, and we will be adding more options to shadows soon, or gradients. And that looks like it's it. I say the most important thing, the color's pretty easy to understand, and fonts easy, transformations, everything's pretty simple to understand, but the alignment, that seems to be the one thing that people are tripping over. So we'll just go over it one more time. If I wanted that in the dead center, we would just go, we hit shift and plus, it'll give us 320, or just enter 320. It's always going to be 320, and then just go to alignment and set it to the center, and it's perfectly, you can't even move it left and right. It's always going to be center. And that pretty much does it for, let's see what we have on squares, because I know squares are different. Okay, yeah, we went over box radius. That just curves the corners of the box, but you can do a box shadow. Box shadow is pretty much like a text shadow. You can give, if you can see it, you see it gave the box a little glow. You also have transformations for the box. You can turn it into a diamond if you wanted to. And you do have an option for overlays, but I see myself now using either the custom circle or the custom squares to make my overlays in here, so I don't even have to open Photoshop. So if you wanted like just something to hold, a clock, you could easily make that your overlay. And if you have an element, if you want to center it in the element, just change the width to the width of that element, and then align center. And then it'll always be center inside that element. No matter what if it changed to 1020, it would still be center in that circle element. But that's it. If you have any questions, LockPlus.info/forum. We're always there. You don't have to sign up to post a question, and we're there to help whatever you need. I want to thank you guys for the support. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys later.